Okay, welcome to Verbling. Hi, I'm Teacher Oakley. Welcome to Class 3 of the TOEFL Reading Test Blitz. Woo! This is a workout. Hi, Michael. You're back for more.
Yep.
Yeah, wow. Okay, all right. We are just going to continue where we left off. We're going to talk a little bit about the last 3 question types, and then we're going to do a practice test together. Oh my goodness. Yes, and as I demonstrated last class, these are tricky. Definitely. Hello, Faisal. Faisal, you're another brave soldier. All right. Yes. Very good, guys. I'm very impressed with you. Okay. Uh, let's jump in and take a look at sentence insertion questions. Question type 8. Hello, Sandro. Welcome to the class.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever the case may be. Indeed.
Yes.
Okay. We are we're going to do some practice of the TOEFL reading test, but first I want to complete my mission to talk about strategies for the different question types, and we're going to look at a sentence insertion question type. It will look like this. There you will see 4 black squares. So it will be very easy to find. You don't have to search the entire long reading passage. For the question types, they will present you with a sentence which will look like this. Okay. The problem is it's a little bit time consuming. Where would the sentence best fit? Okay, so we want to look at the sentences before and after because, for example, the sentence before is very much relevant because when we look at the sentence we are inserting, it says, while this process continues. Obviously, okay, always this sentence will make a reference to something. Okay, so that is what you're looking for. Where is the reference? Perhaps, but not always, it will also pre-reference something which is mentioned afterwards. But pretty much always you're going to it will reference something previous. All right, so you're going to have to look at the sentence before the first square. All right, let's try this out. Michael, all right. Just substitute. All right. The end of cuticle is not quite tough enough for daily wear and tear. While this process continues, wait a minute. What do you think? Does that make any sense at all?
What? The endocutal is not quite tough enough for daily wear and tear. Over time, however, its molecules...
No. You're substituting in the sentence. So, like this. The end of cuticle is not quite tough enough for daily wear and tear. While this process continues, the end of cuticle is gradually shifted. Over time, however, its molecules continue to lock together.
Oh, I understand. So while this process, the cuticle is gradually shifted, I should put like before the black square.
Right. In place of the black square. Yes.
Okay.
In place
so
of,
the end cuticle
right.
is not quite tough enough for daily wear and tear. And give me the sentence again. While this process continues, the cuticle is gradually shifted. The endocutic is not quite tough enough for daily wear and tear. While this process... No, there is no process.
Yeah, there's no process.
Let's go.
All right, let's go. Okay.
Took me a while to figure out.
Yeah, it's okay. All right. Now you're looking at the sentence, the end sentence. And again, forward.
Over the time, however, its molecules continue to lock together. And where is the sentence?
While this process continues, the endocuticle is gradually shifted.
Well, there is like a process. Over the time, it's kind of process. Sounds like. Over the time, however, its molecule continued.
Okay.
I
And doesn't match the other one. The endocuticle, that's hard to say, is gradually shifted. Okay, as the endocuticle is pushed upward by the formation of new sheets by the epidermis, it becomes the middle shell layer. The endocuticle is pushed upward. That's kind of referring to a shift, right? Okay, so that more or less matches. This seems like a process. The seconds, okay. This matches with gradually shifting. This looks like a winner. It looks like number 2 would be our answer. Probably B in the actual test.
Okay.
Okay, but just to make sure, the problem is they will trick you. There may be a couple places where it seems to fit. So that really, I feel strongly about that, but we should always, as part of our strategy, just double check. Okay. All right. As the endocuticle is pushed upward by the formation of new sheets by the epidermis, it becomes the middle shell layer called the exocuticle. What?
So what is the sentence? I don't remember the sentence.
Okay. While this process continues, the endocuticle is gradually shifted. The endocuticle. So wait a minute. No.
There is no.
We've already. That doesn't make sense. Because now we're introducing the exocuticle. Right? And this, yeah, even though, okay, this may be a process, but we are referring back to something which is ahead. So that makes absolutely no sense at all. There's no way. We're already talking about we've moved on from endocuticle to exocuticle, right? So there's absolutely no way. So the second sentence is the only one that's going to make sense. All right. So the first square, if you remember, was here in front of this. Over time, its molecules continue to lock together. And now our inserted sentence is here as it's pushed upward. There we go. You got it right. Very good. So half right. Okay, so making sure that both the front end and the back end of the sentence, and believe me, in this type question, there will be a front end and a back end. Okay, so make sure that they both match, not just one. Especially the front. The front will definitely refer to some kind of something, action or process in the front. Okay, let's move on to question type number 9 after I briefly say hello again to Ishmael. You're very brave to come back. Hello again.
Hello,
okay, and hello, Moises. Long time no see. Good to see you.
Hello.
Okay, guys, we're going to look at a couple more question types on the TOEFL reading exam, and then we're going to do some practice here. Okay. Question type number 9, except not least questions. Oh, boy. Okay. Let's take a look. Here's our passage again. It's very long. La, 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 la. Now, let's look at the question. All of the following are mentioned as benefits of the exoskeleton, except... okay. By the way, the word except, you will note, is written in capital letters. It may be not or least. your task is to find the answer that is not mentioned. So obviously, in order to do that, it's much easier to find things that are there than to find things that aren't there. Clearly. Okay. So what is the actual rephrasing the question? What are they really looking for? Faisal, what are they actually looking for here?
The benefits of exoskeleton.
You are correct. Okay. So how are we going to find this? Oh my gosh. Well, benefits of the exoskeleton. Okay. Really, the only thing we can do is search for each one of these answers. There's no way to look at the passage and then come back and try to remember everything in the passage. So we're going to have to look for each one of these. We're going to have to scan. So the technique for scanning for information. Faisal, what should we look for here in A? What do you think would be easiest to find? What word or two words, maybe?
D is easy. Or armor light protection. Armor protection.
Well, let's
sorry,
start with A. So we're going to have to search for each one of these. Okay, what I mean, Faisal, it's probably going to be easiest to, I'm thinking, and this water loss. Okay, now it may be easier for you to find something else. You don't have to. There's no specific answer for what keywords you're searching for. So I'm looking for water loss, and it's going to be somewhere around what? Exoskeletons? Was that it? Blah 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 blah. There's nothing about exoskeletons. Wait a minute. I see something. Does anybody else see what I see? The shell protects fragile internal organs from hazardous contact with the environment. It seals in precious moisture that would otherwise evaporate. Is that water loss? Seals in precious moisture? Is that it? Is that what I'm looking for? The exoskeleton. Okay, protection against water loss. Does that look good? Looks good to me. I'm not sure, but are they talking about exoskeleton as the shell? I think they are. I happen to know that's what an exoskeleton is. Okay, an exoskeleton, the hard outer shell. So yes, when they refer to the outer shell, they're referring to the exoskeleton. So the shell protects it, meaning the shell, meaning the exoskeleton, seals in precious moisture. Boom. Okay, I have eliminated A. Obviously, this is a time-consuming type of question, which means you might want to save it for past two. Okay, Faisal, what am I going to look for here?
Colorations.
Coloration?
Coloration.
Okay. Remember, they're more likely to change the adjectives or adverbs rather than the nouns. So, yeah, I think coloration. Okay. Coloration. What? What am I looking for? Coloration. Wait a minute. I remember from before talking about scorpions and changing their color. So actually, I used that pre-knowledge when we were looking at the test earlier, so I knew coloration would probably be located around there. All right. So hopefully, as you continue to answer more questions, you can use some of your previous knowledge to help you find things as well, which is another reason to save this question for last, because you will have to search the entire body of the text for this. Okay. The coloration and markings of the exoskeleton can be beneficial as well.
The benefit?
Okay. They can be beneficial. Okay. Are mentioned as benefits of the exoskeleton. Okay. I guess that's pretty directly, yeah. All right, so I eliminate that. Okay, probably. But are mentioned as benefits. I'm a little hesitant because they can be benefits. It doesn't say they are benefits. This may be a trap. All right, I'm not completely convinced. So now, because I'm not completely convinced, I need to continue. All right, Faisal, now what am I going to look for?
Ability, extra air, water, ability, extra air,
Extra
water.
air, extra water. Okay. Now,
That. At the middle, in extra air, water, I found that.
Where? In here?
Yeah.
Ah, extra air or water. There it is. You have very good eyes, Faisal. Okay. The arthropod must first take in extra air or water to swell its body to greater than normal size. Okay, that doesn't say anything about a benefit. After the shell is hardened in its expanded form, the arthropod expels the air or water. It can then grow. Well, Faisal, what do you think of that?
Spain.
It has this ability, but is it a benefit?
Ability. I'm not sure, but maybe either. Yeah, I'm not sure that's a benefit. It's talk about.
Me neither. Okay. Armor-like protection seems quite obvious, actually. And all right, I should probably find it somewhere in the text. Armor-like protection could be anywhere, just to make sure. Scream if you see it, anybody. Oh, wait. Dum. Okay, very technical stuff. Probably where it talks about predators, maybe.
That. I found that. And
Where is it?
at the at the top of the page.
Near the top?
That. At the first paragraph. No. At the second paragraph at the top.
Okay.
Second page. Let's see. Sorry. I just wrong thing.
Okay. It's okay.
That's this paragraph. This arrangement allows supple movement to provide armor-like protection.
I don't know where you're seeing it.
These arrangements are subtle movements but provide arm-like protection. That's the sentences at the last sentences at the that paragraph. Do you see that?
No. No, but I'll take your word for it. Okay. Well, it's there. I can't find it, but you did. Okay. Rather than waste time, because I'm stupid. All right. All right. So what do you think? If you had to pick one, Faisal, where would you go?
I picked C
C.
as
All right.
a
Okay. Well, uh, okay. A is true. Yes, we very distinctly found that. B, coloration and markings is true. Okay, we found that. 3, C is false because there is no protection. Hooray!
yay.
Right, Shaw, you are correct. You notice the problem, though. We have to find everything. We have to search for everything. And although it's really not that hard a question, it is an extremely time-consuming question. All right, so again, if you're going to use the two-pass method and go back, really, maybe that would be the question type you would do first in the second pass. Now, there is a problem here. Okay, well, I'll come to that in a second. All right, question 10, inference questions. Most of my students who are preparing for TOEFL believe this is the most difficult type of question because it's not said in the reading passage, but it is implicitly implied, meaning based on information in the reading passage, this has to be true. Okay. It can be inferred from the passage that molting what? All right, well, clearly we have to find molting. Okay, where does it talk about molting? Molting does what? Okay, I believe that shows up in... okay. Okay, I guess we have to look. We don't have the passage down here. We have to go back to the passage again. And molting's at the end, so the last paragraph. All right. In fact, molt is one of the keywords here. All right. Okay, it's introducing molting. As the animal increases in size, it must occasionally molt. Okay. The existing cuticle separates from new or more flexible layers being secreted beneath it. And now it explains molting. Okay. The new chitin protein will harden. All right, we're talking about the explanation of molting. This process can take hours or days after molting occurs. Okay, so growing the new shell takes hours or days after. The real essential information for molting is here. The cuticle cannot expand to accommodate growth. As the animal increases in size, it must molt. Okay. Be shaken or slipped off. All right. What were our... So I'm kind of very carefully reading that, the information. Okay. Now I may have to go back and forth here with this. Okay, what can be inferred from the passage? Okay, remember, this is difficult because many of these can be inferred, actually. Ishmael, you want to try this one out?
It can be inferred from the passage that molting happens regularly during the life of the arthropod. I think true, because they are changing their body.
Mm-hmm.
It is going to grow, and it should be after a molting process.
Right.
Always takes days to complete.
Well,
Yes.
it does mention that.
Yes,
Kind of.
it was mentioned something like this.
Yeah, we're going to have to look at it again, obviously. And leaves the arthropod without its normal defense.
Maybe shorter than days, but leaves the arthropod without its normal defense. Yes, it's correct, because
yes,
the shell is flexible and not
right.
hard.
So really, here's the problem. All of these can be inferred. This last one, however, causes the arthropod to grow larger. No, the arthropod grows larger, which causes them to molt. So D can be eliminated. This much we know. Okay, now we've got 3 possibilities. Now we have to look at it more carefully in regards to each one of these. Happens regularly during the life of the arthropod. Okay. As the animal increases in size, it must molt, and then it explains how it molts. Okay. Is there anything about
hours or days?
Okay, we see the hours or days, which is another part. This process can take hours or days after molting occurs. Oh, wait.
Oh, after molting occurs.
After it's done, the new chitin and protein will harden, blah, blah, blah. There's a process. This process can take hours or days after molting occurs. We don't know. We can't assume how long the molt lasts. There's nothing here. So, okay, I think we just eliminated one of them. The one about many times during its life, I don't really see.
Adaptive.
I don't really see where we can assume that. As the animal increases in size, it must occasionally molt. But how many times does it increase in size, or how much does it increase in size, or how often does it increase in size? The passage doesn't say. So the idea that it does it many times during its life, it seems very logical, but according to the reading passage, it hasn't been made absolutely completely obvious, which is what we're looking for. Okay, extra air or water. The third answer was what? It was about leaves the arthropod without its normal defense. This is looking better and better to me. Okay. Okay. In fact, this process can take hours or days. Okay. But until it hardens, the new coat is tender and easily penetrated. The arthropod must remain in hiding, otherwise it risks being snapped up. Okay.
Lower defense.
Lower defense. Yeah. Okay. Well, they talk a lot. It has to go into hiding. It doesn't have a hard shell. It can be easily penetrated by predators. So there's a lot of backup or base information to support this inference. It is an obvious inference. It is the most obvious.
C is correct.
I think C is correct, Ishmael. Thank you for walking through that with me. But you can see how we have to really, really study more than once, and this is going to be common. Go back and forth through the question and the passage, to really, really deeply analyze. Is there any information about how many times during the life? No. Or how long they live, or there's nothing. Is there a trick? Is there, the molting, then the regeneration of the shell takes days to complete. Doesn't say how long the molting takes, so we can't infer it. Okay.
Are the choices always like this in TOEFL? Okay, because it is very difficult to choose one of them. Actually,
yeah.
2 or 3 choices are resemble.
Yeah.
Like true.
Yes.
Partially, or.
That's exactly right. That's
it
why
is mentioned on the passage.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's exactly what occurs as you're taking the test. You constantly end up with 2 answers that seem very good, and then you have to spend a lot of time to really analyze it to death. Unfortunately, yes, Ishmael, that is exactly what they're like, and that's the problem. And even in our earlier class, I made a mistake, so it is definitely possible to make a mistake, and even I do, and that type of inference question is very, very normal. Okay, here is, all right, summary question. One more question type here. Summary questions. Okay, now these are another type of question that's going to take a long time. These are worth at least 2 points, sometimes 3 or 4 points. All right, so the thing is, the problem here, these are very time-consuming. On the other hand, they're worth more points. So they're very important in the test. Okay, here's what they look like. There's a long set of directions. All right, an introductory sentence for a brief summary of the passage is provided below. Here it is. This is really important. Okay, the first mistake people make is they think, all right, I know what this is about. I can summarize the passage. Yes, but you're not wanting to do that. You have to work with this summary of the passage, not your own. It is very important to disassociate yourself with your ideas, with your own ideas about the passage. You have to concentrate on this summary. This is the usual mistake. Okay, now complete the summary by selecting 3 answer choices that express the most important ideas in the passage. No, this is misleading. This is a damn TOEFL trick. No, actually what you're looking for is 3 answer choices that express the ideas in this summary which they have given you. You will find answers that to your way of thinking, express the most important ideas in the passage. But that's not the point. They have to most closely express the ideas in this statement down here, this summary. That's the trick. They lie to you, is what they do. They say the most important ideas in the passage, but that's absolutely not true. That is the trap. Some sentences do not belong because they express ideas that are not presented in the passage or are minor ideas in the passage. Okay, the ideas that are not in the passage are fairly easy to eliminate. The ones which are considered minor ideas may be ideas you think are the most important, but they do not closely match this particular summary which they have given you to work off. That is the key to this exercise. Generally, you will have to pick 3 out of 6. Generally, there will be other times where you may be picking 2 out of 5. Maybe another type, yeah, they mix it up. Maybe sometimes there's another form of this where there are 2 ideas in the reading passage, and you have to divide up which ideas go with which. For example, if the reading passage is showing a contrast between 2 ideas, you'll have to divide up the different points or bullet points into the two categories. So this does have another form. Okay, this is the basic form. Okay, so let's take a look. First, let's look at the summary. Animals in the phylum called arthropods have shells or exoskeletons with distinctive characteristics. Okay, let's make it easy. Arthropods have shells with distinctive characteristics. Okay, this is kind of extra information. Eliminate that. Again, we're going to simplify. All right. Okay. Let's take a look. Insects, spiders, shrimp, crabs, and centipedes are all arthropods. Well, okay. Hello, Heidi. Oh, Heidi, this is going to be difficult because you haven't been working on this with us. Hi, Heidi.
Hello.
Hello. Okay. Michael.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think this is information which matches this? Which is a main idea of this summary?
Nope.
No, I agree. These are examples. Be wary of examples. All right? Those are examples? Great. Beautiful. You've gotten rid of one choice already. That's great.
What is on the right-hand side?
These other choices. You have to pick 3 of the 6.
Oh, there are 6 in total. Okay.
Yeah. In the real test, what you would do is you click and drag them over here. So you have a click and drag function. So the ones in the box that you like, you click and drag.
So 3, yeah? You should find
3 out of 6. So
wow, that's 50%.
Yeah, but you have to get them all right, or the whole answer's wrong. That's the problem. Okay, very good. Actually, let's move and groove around the room. Faisal. Okay, let's look at the next one. The shell has 3 layers that protect an arthropod from injury and water loss.
3 layers. Cool. I think that's true.
All right, they're talking about arthropods, the shells, and definitely having 3 layers is a characteristic. That one looks very good to me. Okay. Heidi. Let's try this one. The hyaline, or hyaline, I don't even know how to pronounce it, in a scorpion shell glows under black light because it is excited by ultraviolet radiation. Heidi, would you consider this statement to be related to this, an underlying or a main important idea related to this? Heidi, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you consider this statement, the hyaline in a scorpion shell glows under black light, to be related to
Not right, because it.
this statement?
I can't read. You move
Okay.
too much.
Okay.
Please, that takes
Stop
time.
moving around.
You move articles too much, so I can't read.
Okay. Here you go.
Ultraviolet radiation. Excited by ultraviolet. And scorpion the shell grows under black light because it is excited by.
Okay. Is this statement related to this?
Under the ultraviolet, scorpion under the ultraviolet. Maybe ultraviolet makes their shell harder. So it's kind of sunlight.
Right, but that's okay. All right. What we're trying to figure out, for example, the shell has 3 layers that protect an arthropod. Okay. Animals called arthropods have shells with the distinctive characteristic. A characteristic of arthropods, they have 3 layers in the shells that protect them. That matches this. This statement here, the hyaline in a scorpion's shell, very specific.
Yeah,
glows.
so under black light they grow up, and under the violet, ultraviolet, they makes harder.
Oh.
No.
Okay, here's the problem. You're not talking about arthropods anymore. You're talking about a very, very specific example of an arthropod. So this is not the general idea of arthropod. And this is and even more than scorpions, it's a very, very specific of one characteristic of one single type of arthropod. So this is extremely specific information. So this is not general enough. This is far too specific. This is another example, I think. Okay, I think. Okay, maybe we can leave that as a maybe if you want to. Let's see if we find something that's not so specific. Ishmael, how about this next one? The chitin.
The chitin in the exoskeleton is similar in chemical composition to the cellulose in wood. It is very specific. I think it is not good for this.
Okay. 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 It is a specific attribute or characteristic of the shell. It's talking about the chitin, which is a very specific attribute or characteristic of the exoskeleton. But at least it is a characteristic of an exoskeleton.
Yes.
I wouldn't discard this one immediately.
Maybe we see the other choices.
Yeah, right. Very good. Michael, let's look at the next one.
Because the shell is hard, it must be discarded and replaced as the arthropod grows. Yeah, it's about the shell in general.
About the shell in general.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of the arthropod.
Yeah. But okay. It does mention the shell is hard as a characteristic, but it also mentions because. Okay. So that is talking about a result of the characteristic. which is something different than a main point that supports this basic summary.
Okay.
Actually. Okay, here's the trick here. Yes, it does mention one of our key elements of the summary, but it's mentioning a result of that. Not, okay, it's not supporting, it's not characteristics. We're looking for characteristics of shells.
Okay.
So this, and only characteristics of shells. Okay. So I think this needs to be chucked.
Okay.
I think. Maybe I'm wrong. I've been wrong before.
I bet you have the answer on the other page, and you are.
No, I don't. I actually don't. You saw I made a mistake earlier. I do not have the answers. I'm doing this too. Faisal, what do you think?
Colorations, variety of activity, surface area number shown is possible height number. Characteristics, but
Characteristics.
I'm not so sure. But muscles and variety, height number of muscles, and variety of productive coloration. Perhaps this true.
Maybe. Now I have to rethink what I just told Michael, because it makes possible, okay, because the shell is hard. Now I'm questioning what I just told Michael. There seems to be a lot of information about the characteristics of a shell here, though. Okay. This is what I have, all right? This seems like definitely true. The 1 and 3 seem way too specific. And for me, this seems very good. But if this is true, possibly Michael's answer is true. So my problem is which one to choose between these two. Maybe, Michael, maybe your answer is right, because it is similar to this one. It makes possible, okay, because, okay, I guess the fact that it's discarded may be a characteristic. Maybe you're right. These two kind of match with each other. Here's another thing to look for in your strategy. Okay, and even the shell has 3 layers that protect from injury and water loss. Okay, that result in, because, makes possible. These 3 have similarities. And I do take into account Ishmael's argument that this is a very, very specific characteristic. So, you know what? Even
the hyaline is resemble the word which is start with hyaline, resemble the choice of me, I think.
This one?
It seems to be same with, yes, hyaline and the...
Oh, the chitin?
The chitin.
Ah, yeah, okay.
It is in similar category, I think.
Okay. Okay. And this is definitely too specific. That's a very interesting point. Okay, so notice what we're doing. I'm making choices, and even I'm thinking, oh, maybe I don't think that's right. But then when I read on, the other thing I'm doing is I'm drawing similarities between what I consider to be a wrong answer and other answers, and similarities between what I seems to be obviously a correct answer. Well, does anybody disagree? I may be wrong. I'm going to choose these 3. Michael, I'm going to take your answer. I back off.
Whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
There are no wrong or right answers. They are all right.
Unfortunately, there are. Okay. So, first choice is eliminated. It's mentioned, but it's mentioned in a passage which is mostly talking about the exoskeleton. So you can look back at the passage and see, is it being actually used as an example to explain something else? In which case, it can be eliminated. The second choice describes the cell, summarizes the structure of the cell. Okay, so second choice is right. Third, hyaline. This is the main idea or detail. It shows up in a paragraph about the benefits of a shell. This means that this fact is an example of a benefit. The phrase even uses for instance. If you see for instance in one of these phrases in this question, it's probably wrong. It's a detail, not a main idea, so we can eliminate it. Chitin, okay, it does talk about the exoskeleton, as we noted. It's a very specific detail. Okay, we're looking for more general, so there you go.
Ba-bum, ba-bum.
Ba-bum, ba-bum. That's it. We've already eliminated all the wrong ones, so we know that, in fact, we were correct. All right. Okay.
You see, the choice talks about the shell as well.
As well. It gives a good summary of the final paragraph of the passage, which talked about the disadvantages of the exoskeleton, because the entire passage gave information on the benefits and disadvantages. We should add this to the choice. Okay, so this is like a summary of the disadvantages. All right. Well, there you go. And the last one definitely seems pretty good to me as well. Okay, well, there you go. We figured it out, but it took forever, and that's the fact. Okay.
Are the choices in a logical order?
No, they're scrambled. What do you mean? Logical order as they appear in the text?
Yes.
I don't believe they are, actually. I believe they can be totally scrambled.
You said that this choice starts with a because and it is mentioned before an idea.
Sorry?
I mean, when we choose the correct choices, should these choices list in a logical order?
Oh, no.
They are going
yeah.
to build a text or passage, or
will they
is
be
there any?
Okay. Will they be in the order in which they're presented in the text?
Yes.
Well, this one was first. This was second. I don't know where this came up. I wouldn't guarantee it. Maybe they are. I actually don't know the answer to that. I'm not sure. If they are, then they go like this. Left, right, left, right, left, right. But no, that doesn't work. Because this part... No, these are not in order. These are not in order at all, because the chitin was before the hyaline. This was at the very end of the... Remember, this was at the end. This was in the middle. No, these are certainly not in any order whatsoever. As far as what order you answer them here, it doesn't matter. Because you have to have 3 right answers. It doesn't matter how you put them in here. It doesn't matter if this one is clicked and dragged to here, or to here, or to here. It doesn't matter. So no. To answer your question, no. There's no freaking logic. None at all. No. Actually. Okay. Well, we ended up spending the whole time for this class looking at the strategies for the last 3 types of questions, because they are the 3 hardest types. Note to self, I need to organize this reading series differently. Okay, but that's good. I'm glad we did it, though. That's important. We're going to take a break here for an hour, and then when I come back, just practice, practice, practice. We're going to look at some more. However, to summarize, strategies for the summary questions, what you're looking for is choices that are too specific. Do not use examples. If the actual wording says, for instance, or as an example, then it's definitely going to be wrong. Or the information is actually not mentioned at all, which all of that stuff we saw was mentioned. Occasionally they will throw in some information that is not even in the reading text. Okay, so you have to make sure it's there. The other thing, note that part of our strategy, we kind of went back and forth, but we noticed relationships, both between the good answers and between the bad answers, as a matter of fact. And you can use the fact that they are similar in wording, similar in the type of material they're presenting, or the way they present it, can also help you. It helped us just now. Okay. Again, the types of questions we looked at in this class, you may want to save to the end, because the other ones are much faster. But then you have another challenge. The problem is you have to practice all these questions, because not everyone is the same. All right. Some people may find inference questions easy. Some people may find summary questions easy. So not guaranteed that is the strategy. You need to practice and figure out what you're good at and what you are not so good at. Who knows? Maybe you're not good at vocabulary questions, but you're excellent at summary questions. So although there are definitely strategies that you can learn to help yourself, the biggest thing to do is practice and tailor the strategies to your own particular test-taking style, I guess, as it were. Yeah.
I want to ask, what is the purpose of the TOEFL test, actually?
Just to torture you.
They are trying to mess the foreign,
They're trying to mess with your mind.
They are trying to lead us to study science, or actually, even if you cannot choose at first sight the right answer, how can I be successful at this test?
Well, you have to practice. It takes a lot of practice, and you have to analyze them and figure out what they do. And it doesn't matter. I've been doing this for years, and I still get questions wrong. They're very, very difficult.
You know why Walkley is so difficult, the test?
Why is it so difficult? Because they're trying to get graduate students in United States universities, and they don't just want everybody coming to the United States. That's why.
To study about arthropods, it takes some brains. To summarize, for example, I read a page of text about arthropods. Not that to summarize that. That takes a lot of English-speaking abilities.
It does. They want high scores. You know, universities, they're not, out of 120, they're asking for scores of 100, 110 just to get into their university. If you don't have it, you don't get into the university. Because they set the bar extremely high for non-English speaking people, for people from non-English speaking countries. Frankly.
So we
That's
need to
why.
take TOEIC exam. TOEIC exam.
TOEIC. But TOEIC won't help you in the United States or Canada. Only in Japan or Australia.
But you can apologize properly after taking that exam.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to take a break for an hour. I'm starving, and I'll be back and practice some more reading tests. But so long for now. Thank you.
Thank you, teacher.